All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're stepping into the ring for what might just be the biggest title fight in all of technology, the battle for the future of AI. In one corner, you've got the scrappy, community-driven challengers of open source, and in the other, the reigning corporate champions of big tech. This is a clash of titans with totally different playbooks, and believe me, the winner is going to shape our world for decades to come. At the very heart of this fight is one single massive question. And it's about so much more than just code. It's about power, it's about money, and it's about the future of human progress. Should this incredible technology be an open book that anyone can read? Or should it be a guarded fortress controlled by just a select few? The entire industry is split right down the middle on this. So let's start there, with AI's two philosophies. Because this isn't just some technical debate about which model is better. No, at its core, this is a clash of two fundamentally different visions for how our future should look. It's a true philosophical showdown. Okay, so on one side, you've got Team Open Source. Their whole belief system is built on this idea that transparency, collaboration, and just sharing the code is the absolute fastest way to make progress. But then you've got Team Big Tech. They argue that real progress is driven by control, which helps ensure safety and lets them build sustainable products you can actually buy. Two really powerful ideas fighting for one huge prize. Now for our next section, Meet the Contenders. You can't have a title fight without its champions, right? So let's get to the tail of the tape. It's time to formally introduce our two heavyweight contenders and see who's who in this epic bout. First up, we've got the challenger, open source AI. And you have to understand, this isn't one single company. It's more like a movement. It's all about AI models and tools that are just out there in the public. You can download them, you can look under the hood, you can tweak them for your own needs, and you can even build a business on top of them. It's all about distributed innovation, totally fueled by a global community. And don't get me wrong, this corner has some seriously heavy hitters. I mean, you've got giants like Meta throwing their weight behind models like Llama. You have the pioneers over at Stability AI who are championing open image generation. And right at the center of it all, you have the community hub, Hugging Face, which is kind of like a library for thousands of open models that anyone can use. And in the other corner, the reigning champion, Big Tech AI. These are the proprietary closed-source systems built by corporations with almost unbelievable resources. We're talking vast server farms, massive private data sets, and billions with a B in funding. With these guys, you don't get the source code, you get access through an API. It's a totally different model. And the names here, well, they're legendary. You've got the company that basically started this whole generative AI explosion, OpenAI. You have the research powerhouse that is Google DeepMind. And of course, the enterprise titan Microsoft, which is busy integrating AI into, well, everything. These are the undisputed champions of scale and raw power. All right, introductions are over. Let's get to the main event in Section 3, the key battlegrounds. We're going to break this fight down, round by round, across the most critical fronts where this war for the future of AI is actually being fought. So let's get right into it. We're going to see where each philosophy has a clear advantage, and where they land their most powerful strategic punches. So first up, speed. Ding, ding! Round 1, innovation speed. Big tech absolutely lands the first major blow. With those billion-dollar budgets, they're the ones pushing the absolute frontier, creating these groundbreaking models that just stun the world. But wait, open source counters immediately. See, they don't have one lab, they have thousands. This decentralized creativity lets them iterate incredibly fast, making models smaller, more efficient, and adapting them for specific tasks at a speed big tech just can't keep up with. Round 2 is all about raw performance. Now, if you look at the big leaderboards for complex, general reasoning, yeah, big tech's models are usually sitting at the top. But it's not a knockout. For a very specific, specialized job, let's say analyzing legal documents, a smaller model that's been fine-tuned on that exact type of data can often outperform its bigger, more general rival. Now for round 3, cost. This is a huge one. With big tech, you pay as you go. It's simple, it's managed, but those costs can really skyrocket if you use it a lot. With open source, the model itself is free, but you're on the hook for the computers, the infrastructure, and the smart engineers you need to run it. It's that classic build versus buy trade-off. And this really gets to the heart of the whole ownership debate. As the quote says, if control equals power, open source wins this category decisively. Think about it. When you use an open source model, you have absolute control. You can change its safety filters, you can optimize it for your specific hardware, and you can train it on your most sensitive private data without it ever leaving your building. That is a level of control that big tech APIs just can't offer. Period. Okay, round 4, privacy and security. Now this one's a little more nuanced. Big tech invests a ton of money in safety, moderation, and what's called red teaming. That's where they intentionally try to break their own systems to find flaws. On the other hand, with open source, you can run the whole model on your own servers. Your data never leaves your control, which is a massive, massive win for privacy and what's known as data sovereignty. So it's this trade-off between managed safety and absolute data containment. So as we head into our final section, something surprising is happening. After this tough back-and-forth fight, there's a twist. The fighters are starting to look less like opponents and more like sparring partners, creating this new hybrid path forward. That's right. The future probably isn't about one side delivering a knockout blow to the other. Instead, what we're actually seeing is this complex, interconnected relationship where each side kind of needs the other one to thrive. The line is getting really blurry. And this has created a really powerful innovation cycle. It usually starts with big tech making some huge leap forward. Then, the open source community gets a hold of the underlying ideas, they refine them, and they make them way more efficient and accessible. And then finally, startups take these refined tools and build amazing new products for super specific niches. It's this virtuous cycle where each side ends up fueling the others. So after all that, after all those rounds, where does that leave us? It's time to ask the big question. Who really wins? Let's go to the judges' scorecard for the final verdict on this epic bout. And the final scorecard is in, and it looks like a split decision. Big tech clearly wins on things like frontier performance, massive scale, and easy integration for big companies. But open source absolutely takes the prize for accessibility, deep customization, privacy control, and being more cost-effective. So at the end of the day, there is no single knockout winner. And that's the crucial point. The real winner here isn't one team or the other. It's us. It's the entire AI ecosystem. This competition is what drives innovation faster. It pushes prices down, and it makes sure that more people from all over the world get to participate in building what's next. So ultimately, we kind of need to reframe our thinking here. This isn't a zero-sum game where one side has to lose for the other one to win. That's really the old way of looking at it. The real lingering question we're all left with is this. How will we, as a society, manage this incredibly delicate balance between the power of openness and the necessity of control? The answer to that question is going to define not just the next generation of AI, but the next generation of our world.